Global Monetary Watch, August 5th. Welcome back, and thank you for joining us as we take a closer look at another important development surrounding the Iraqi dinar and Iraq's evolving financial landscape. In today's discussion, we are examining the growing attention around changes taking place inside Iraq's monetary and banking system. Across financial circles, analysts and observers have been watching several developments closely, from banking reforms to international cooperation and economic planning. But the most important question remains, what is actually changing, and why are these developments receiving so much attention from those following Iraq's financial future? For years, the Iraqi dinar has been surrounded by discussions about economic reform, currency stability, and Iraq's efforts to strengthen its position in the global financial system. Throughout this period, many announcements have created excitement, while others have required careful analysis. Iraq's economic journey has not followed a straight path. Political challenges, budget concerns, regional events, and changes in global markets have all influenced the speed and direction of reforms. Understanding the current situation requires looking beyond individual headlines and examining the broader structure being developed inside the country. One of the key areas receiving attention is the role of the Central Bank of Iraq and its long-term approach towards strengthening monetary stability. The central bank has focused on improving financial systems, managing foreign currency operations, and developing policies designed to support a more efficient banking environment. These efforts are part of a larger process aimed at improving confidence in Iraq's financial institutions. However, monetary changes are complex and usually depend on multiple factors working together, including economic conditions, institutional readiness, and broader financial stability. A major part of this conversation involves the foundation required for any modern financial system. Before currency can operate more effectively in international markets, the institutions supporting that currency must be strong, reliable, and connected with global standards. This includes improvements in banking procedures, compliance systems, electronic payments, and financial oversight. Iraq has been working on many of these areas as part of its efforts to modernize its economy and increase integration with international financial networks. The importance of banking reform cannot be overlooked when discussing Iraq's financial direction. Over recent years, Iraq has continued efforts to improve banking regulations, strengthen transparency, and align financial institutions with international requirements. These changes are designed to create a more organized and efficient financial environment. A stronger banking sector can help support economic activity, encourage investment, and improve connections between Iraq and the international financial community. The progress of these reforms is one of the main reasons analysts continue to monitor developments closely. Another important factor influencing Iraq's financial system is the country's dependence on oil revenues. Oil remains a central part of Iraq's economy and government income, meaning global energy markets have a significant impact on fiscal planning. Changes in oil prices, production decisions, and international demand can all affect government revenues and economic strategies. Because of this, managing reserves and maintaining financial stability are important priorities for Iraq's economic policymakers. Foreign currency reserves are another area that receives significant attention in discussions about Iraq's monetary position. Reserves provide a financial cushion that can help countries manage economic pressures and maintain confidence in their financial systems. Iraq's reserve management policies have been closely observed by international organizations and financial analysts. Maintaining adequate reserves is considered an important element in supporting economic stability, especially for countries whose revenues are closely connected to global commodity markets. International involvement has also become an important part of Iraq's financial development. Cooperation with organizations such as the International Monetary Fund and engagement with international financial institutions provide opportunities for technical guidance, economic evaluation, and financial system improvements. These relationships do not automatically determine future currency decisions, but they do provide insight into Iraq's ongoing efforts to strengthen its economic framework and improve connections with the wider financial world. At the same time, it is important to separate confirmed developments from speculation. Discussions about the Iraqi dinar often attract significant attention, but understanding the difference between economic progress and currency expectations is essential. Financial reforms usually take place over time and involve many stages of preparation. Changes within a country's monetary system require careful planning, strong institutions, and sustainable economic conditions rather than quick decisions based on public expectations. As Iraq continues working on economic modernization, observers are paying attention to how different areas of reform connect with each other. Banking improvements, government planning, reserve management, and international cooperation all play a role in shaping the country's financial environment. The current focus is not only on individual announcements, but on whether these different parts of the system are developing together in a consistent direction. Understanding this bigger picture provides a clearer view of what is actually happening inside Iraq's financial structure. As we continue examining Iraq's financial developments, another important area to consider is the relationship between government policy and monetary strategy. A country's financial system does not operate separately from its broader economic plans. Government decisions regarding infrastructure, investment, trade, and public spending can influence the environment in which the central bank operates. In Iraq's case, recent development plans have focused on economic diversification, improving services, and strengthening connections with international partners. These efforts form part of a wider attempt to create a more stable and modern economic foundation. The alignment between fiscal policies and monetary policies is often considered a key element in economic development. When different parts of a government's financial structure move in a coordinated direction, it can create better conditions for long-term planning. Iraq has been working to improve coordination between economic institutions while addressing challenges that have affected growth in previous years. This process is ongoing, and analysts continue to observe how effectively these reforms are implemented across different sectors of the economy. Political stability remains another factor that influences financial confidence. Iraq has experienced periods of uncertainty that have affected economic decisions and reform timelines. Political disagreements, regional challenges, and changing circumstances have sometimes slowed progress. However, economic observers often focus on the overall direction rather than expecting a perfect environment. The important question is whether institutions are continuing to develop and whether reforms are moving forward despite challenges. A significant part of Iraq's financial modernization involves improving how banks operate and interact with international systems. Modern economies rely heavily on secure payment networks, transparent banking procedures, and effective regulatory frameworks. Iraq has been working to strengthen these areas through updated banking standards and improved oversight mechanisms. These changes are designed to create a financial environment that can better support domestic economic activity while also meeting international expectations. The connection between Iraqi banks and global financial systems has been a major topic of discussion among analysts. International banking relationships require strong compliance measures, accurate reporting systems, and effective controls against financial risks. Improving these areas can help Iraqi financial institutions participate more efficiently in global transactions. This process requires time, technical development, and continued cooperation between domestic authorities and international financial experts. Electronic payment systems have also become an important part of Iraq's financial transformation. Around the world, digital banking and electronic transactions have changed how people and businesses interact with financial institutions. Iraq's efforts to expand digital payment options are part of a broader move toward modernization. These developments can improve efficiency, increase transparency, and support a more connected financial system when implemented effectively. Another factor being closely watched is Iraq's relationship with international trade. As economies become more interconnected, currency systems and banking networks must be capable of supporting cross-border transactions. Iraq's efforts to improve financial procedures are connected with its goal of becoming more integrated into international commerce. A stronger financial system can help facilitate trade, attract economic activity, and create more opportunities across different sectors. Energy markets continue to play a central role in Iraq's economic planning. Because oil represents a major source of national revenue, changes in the global energy environment can influence government strategies. Periods of strong oil prices can provide additional financial flexibility, while market uncertainty can create challenges that require careful management. This is why reserve policies, spending decisions, and economic planning remain important parts of Iraq's long-term financial approach. Looking at the broader picture, many of the developments surrounding Iraq's financial system are focused on building capacity rather than creating immediate changes. Strengthening institutions, improving regulations, and developing reliable financial infrastructure are gradual processes. These steps are often necessary before any major policy decisions can be considered. The progress of these foundations provides important context when analyzing Iraq's economic direction. For those following the Iraqi dinar, the most important factor is understanding the difference between financial reform and speculation. Economic improvements can indicate that a country is strengthening its system, but they do not automatically determine future currency outcomes. Careful analysis requires looking at verified information and avoiding assumptions based only on expectations. Iraq's financial developments, it is important to look deeper into the structural changes taking place behind the headlines. Financial systems are built through years of planning, policy adjustments, and institutional improvements. While individual announcements may attract attention, the larger story is often found in the gradual transformation happening across banking, regulation, and economic management. Iraq's current financial journey is not based on one single event. Instead, it involves multiple areas moving forward together as the country works toward a more organized and internationally connected economic framework. One area that continues to receive attention is the improvement of Iraq's banking sector. A strong banking system is one of the most important foundations of any modern economy. Banks must operate with reliable procedures, effective oversight, and compliance standards that meet international expectations. Iraq has been working to strengthen these areas by encouraging better financial controls, improving reporting systems, and supporting greater transparency. These efforts are designed to create a healthier financial environment where institutions can operate more effectively and connect with broader global networks. International financial standards have become increasingly important in today's economy. Countries that want stronger participation in global markets need financial institutions capable of meeting international requirements. This includes preventing illegal financial activity, maintaining accurate records, and ensuring secure transactions. Iraq's focus on improving compliance practices reflects a broader global trend where financial credibility depends heavily on strong regulatory systems. These improvements are part of a long-term process aimed at creating greater confidence in the country's financial infrastructure. Another important element is the relationship between Iraq's central bank and international financial organizations. Cooperation with global institutions allows countries to receive technical support, economic assessments, and guidance on financial management. These relationships can provide valuable insight into areas such as monetary policy, banking development, and economic planning. However, international cooperation does not mean that specific currency decisions are guaranteed. The role of foreign reserves remains a key discussion point when analyzing Iraq's monetary position. Reserves can help countries manage economic challenges, support financial confidence, and provide flexibility during periods of uncertainty. For an economy heavily connected to oil revenues, maintaining strong reserves can be especially important because energy markets can change quickly. Iraq's reserve management strategy continues to be monitored by economic observers who are interested in how the country manages financial stability over time. Beyond oil, Iraq has also been working toward broader economic development. Diversifying the economy is a major goal for many resource-dependent countries because it can reduce reliance on a single source of income. Investments in infrastructure, private sector growth, technology, and financial services are areas that can contribute to long-term economic progress. These efforts are not immediate solutions, but represent gradual steps toward building a more balanced economic system. The modernization of payment systems is another important development within Iraq's financial landscape. As economies around the world move toward digital transactions, countries are increasingly focused on improving electronic payment infrastructure. Iraq's efforts in this area are part of a wider push toward efficiency and transparency. Digital financial tools can help businesses and individuals access services more easily while also supporting better tracking and management of financial activity. It is also important to recognize that economic reform requires patience and consistency. Many countries that have successfully improved their financial systems did so through years of gradual adjustments rather than sudden changes. Institutional development, regulatory improvements, and market confidence are built over time. Iraq's current reforms should be viewed within this broader context, where progress is measured through continued implementation rather than short-term expectations. For anyone following developments surrounding the Iraqi dinar, understanding the broader economic picture is essential. Currency systems are influenced by many factors, including economic strength, government policies, financial institutions, and international conditions. The story of Iraq's financial transformation is still developing. Banking reforms, economic planning, international cooperation, and efforts to strengthen financial institutions all represent important parts of this process. These developments show a country working to improve its economic framework and increase its participation in the global financial system. As new information emerges, continued observation and careful analysis will remain essential for understanding the direction of Iraq's financial future. As we reach the final part of today's analysis, the focus turns toward understanding what these combined developments actually represent for Iraq's financial system. Looking at the full picture, the changes taking place are not centered around one announcement or one isolated event. Instead, they reflect a broader effort to strengthen economic institutions, improve financial operations, and create a more modern framework capable of supporting Iraq's future growth. The progress being made across different areas of the financial system shows a continued focus on building stronger foundations. Banking improvements, regulatory updates, digital payment expansion, and international cooperation are all connected parts of this larger process. Each area contributes to the overall effectiveness and credibility of the financial environment. However, these developments must be viewed as part of an ongoing transformation rather than as a single moment that defines the entire direction of Iraq's currency system. The Central Bank of Iraq continues to play a central role in managing monetary policy and supporting financial stability. Its responsibilities include maintaining confidence in the financial system, overseeing banking operations, and implementing policies designed to support economic balance. These responsibilities require careful decisions based on economic data, market conditions, and long-term objectives. Monetary policy is a complex process that involves many factors working together rather than depending on one specific action. International observers continue to monitor Iraq's economic progress because the country plays an important role in regional energy markets and global economic discussions. Cooperation with international organizations and financial institutions provides opportunities for improvement through expertise, evaluations, and technical assistance. These relationships can help Iraq strengthen its financial systems and improve its connection with the global economy while continuing to address domestic challenges. Another important consideration is the changing nature of global finance. Around the world, countries are adapting to new financial technologies, stronger compliance expectations, and more interconnected markets. Iraq's efforts to modernize its banking sector are occurring during a period when financial systems everywhere are evolving. Improving technology, increasing transparency, and strengthening regulations are becoming essential steps for countries seeking greater participation in international economic activity. The relationship between economic reform and currency policy is often misunderstood. A stronger economy and improved financial institutions can create a more stable environment, but currency decisions depend on careful evaluation of many conditions. Central banks typically consider factors such as inflation, reserves, market stability, economic growth, and financial confidence before making significant policy decisions. This is why analysts focus on measurable developments rather than relying on assumptions or speculation. Iraq's economic future will continue to depend on how effectively reforms are implemented. Plans and announcements are only the beginning. Successful economic transformation requires consistent execution. The role of oil revenue will also remain a major factor moving forward. Iraq's ability to manage energy income, maintain financial stability, and plan for changing market conditions will influence many economic decisions. While oil provides significant economic support, long-term development also depends on expanding other sectors and creating a more diversified economy. These efforts can help reduce vulnerability to external market changes. For those watching the Iraqi dinar, the most valuable approach is to remain focused on verified information and broader economic trends. Financial markets are influenced by complex forces, and major monetary decisions require careful preparation and analysis. Understanding the underlying developments inside Iraq provides a clearer perspective than focusing only on rumors or short-term discussions. At this stage, what can be observed is that Iraq continues to work on strengthening its financial infrastructure. The country is improving banking standards, expanding international cooperation, and pursuing economic reforms aimed at creating a more efficient financial system. These efforts represent meaningful developments, but the future direction of monetary policy will depend on continued progress, economic conditions, and decisions made by authorized institutions. The Iraqi financial story remains one of ongoing change. The reforms happening today are part of a longer process focused on stability, modernization, and international integration. While questions about the future continue, the most important developments are the measurable improvements taking place within the country's economic structure. Staying informed means looking beyond headlines and understanding the deeper factors shaping Iraq's financial environment. Thank you for joining Global Monetary Watch for today's analysis. Our goal is to provide clear, balanced, and responsible coverage of important financial developments while separating facts from speculation. If you found this report informative, make sure to support the channel by liking this video and subscribing for future updates. Turn on notifications so you can stay connected with the latest discussions surrounding global currency and economic developments. Subscribe to Global Monetary Watch and press the bell icon for more updates. We'll continue following the facts, tracking the developments, and bringing you the information that matters most. See you in the next update.